Hey everybody. Okay, I'm smoking. Yes. I don't know what else to say. Other than check out QUEENCUP Tarot. Uh, Whatever that means. What she does is not justification for what I do. Never mind. This is a reading. Hello, Starseeds, Lightworkers, Seekers, the Curious. This is my third reading for YouTube, and I am your optimistic reader. There's a lot going on. There's tons of energy coming down right now. It's just after midnight on January 16th, 2020. This is a bit of a continuation reading from a Facebook Live reading that I just did. I'm going to reread the cards that I read for there for a couple of reasons. One is I missed a card, and the other one is that, this way, my huge subscribership of 37, I think, and I am happy. I think this is for all 37 of you, and I think actually 37 is, it's not like 4, right? Okay, we're going to read from, I'm not in my channeling mode yet. This is just me being silly. Hope you enjoy it. We're going to pick a new card from the Earth Warriors deck, and the one that we picked on the FB Live was Nothing Good Shall Be Withheld From You. And if you watch the second Starseed Lightworkers reading that I did on the YouTube channel, MamaGong Penny Lalo Sing, you're going to see that on this day, the 15th was reward day for Lightworkers. So if you want to leave a comment and let me know what kinds of rewards came from yesterday or this day, or the 15th, I should say, of January. And of course, I don't necessarily mean material rewards. Okay, I mean rewards along this ascension journey that has been accelerated by all the planetary conjunctions. It's been accelerated, because it's just time. And if you take a look around, you're going to find so many different signs from all across the board, people talking about the fact that we are in the midst of the great change. So before I shuffle anymore, I'm just going to spray me and kind of get in the zone here a bit. Okay, this is our card, and it says Clan of the Wolf Heart. We are the ones we've been waiting for. Okay, what an important card for us to pick at this time. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the ones who have been holding the peace all this time. We are the ones that have been repulsed by the atrocities of governments and our social systems, our medical systems, and so on. We're the ones, and it is our day. It is our time right now. I want to read from this card because these cards, as I said in my other video, my introduction video, they're very powerful, and we're going to read from this, okay? It is number 14. One moment, and I'll get that. Very appropriate. And another thing I'm saying is that 2020 is the new 2012. There is an ignition of similar energies, only even more powerful, okay? I know you know that already. You belong to the clan of the Wolf Heart. This is a soul tribe with boundaries beyond bloodlines and geography. Wow, super important to remember we are one human family on this one earth. It is based on soul connection to love's wisdom and higher truths of Great Spirit. The clan is united through wolf medicine of the heart. These are the qualities of the divine feminine that unify, allowing for a palpable experience of oneness that brings power to our collective wisdom and purpose. I have so much to say about this card. So our soul families are coming together, and they're coming together in the place of your heart, light workers. This medicine, this power, this energy, this transmutation of so many things at this time are the qualities of the divine feminine that unify. And those qualities are mercy. Those qualities are forgiveness. Those qualities are knowing when to be still. Those qualities are knowing when to go within and rely on strengths and powers that far outdo things like drones and bombs and stuff like that. So now I have already shuffled and laid out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards here, which I read these cards for everyone who's going through so many different ascension symptoms, and we all know we're watching the Schumann resonance, we're watching the CMEs, we're feeling it. That's actually the most important thing. And one thing that I said in my previous reading is to really feel your way through these energies because they're new energies. Okay? Now, the first card that came up in that reading was strength. Okay? Strength. Now, in the last reading, I talked about the new kind of strength that's coming through the divine feminine. But this time, I'm going to talk about your power, your own personal strength, and the gifts that you were given that maybe they don't apply to getting a good job, maybe they haven't applied to your popularity, maybe they haven't applied to a lot of aspects of the society that is now breaking down and losing its foothold. But you have to look again at yourself, and you have to go all the way back to your childhood to find the strengths that you know that you have carried throughout this whole time. And in fact, this period that we're in is all about that. It's all about us remembering what the true strengths of humanity are, and what the true strengths of the mother, the father, the brother, the sister, the uncle, the elder. These are names and labels and roles that go with a series of teachings that we've forgotten. And we must have the strength at this time to speak up strongly for those teachings everywhere that we can, and especially to go within and to meet up with our shadows or past timelines that where we have not been able to do so, and to clear those timelines. And I am going to say that this reading is also going to be somewhat of a transmission that will help you to cut the timelines right now that have contributed to your nervous system being agitated, and that it will also be a healing of your nervous system and a healing of the blockages that you, not having done this work, have created within yourself. So we're quickly going to go back, touch on each one of these. We're going to forgive ourselves and others, and we're going to clip it. And we've done that. And we are now going to use the strength that we know that we have, and we're going to bring that forward to connect to positive timelines that we have created in the past, in this lifetime, in other lifetimes. And we're going to pull those forward with as much power as we have, as much strength as we have to meet the new. And the next card that came up is the Eight of Worlds, and what could be better? In the James Wanless PhD Voyager deck, the worlds are pentacles, so this is the Eight of Pentacles. But really, this is the card is called Change, and this is where we are. And I said in the last reading of this card, if you don't like change, you're not going to like 2020. So I also said that our relationships with everyone are changing, and all relationships are coming forward for adjustments. Even relationships that we have had with our deceased relatives. And I also said in my other reading that there are ancestors here now that haven't been here for a long time, including beings and energies, and um, all of this change includes Earth Mother expelling energies right now, and I want you to tune into Mother Earth and see how different it is. This is going to cause change, and I want you to embrace it. I want you to hang on to it. I want you to grab on to change for dear life. I want you to realize that same is it's it there, you know, it's not happening anymore really much. So get used to that. And if you are, it's not about totally disconnecting and completely changing a bunch of physical things in your life. Okay? It's about changing the underlying intention and the underlying energy that's emitted from you as it is that you go about these things now in a totally changed way, because as we are learning, the change starts first with yourself, and that it is very difficult to change people out there or to change the world out there, even though all of the great efforts of all those who are, say, first responders or volunteers or do all those things, um, the the change that occurred within them to allow them to do those jobs is what I'm talking about. All right, so the next card that came up was the Child of Worlds, and I feel this is our day. I feel this is our time. I feel this is the time of the underdog. I feel this is the time of the child of wonder and the child of the scraggly little child, I guess, that really couldn't afford to do anything but become a shaman. And I think we have taken a lot of um, paths that we don't believe that we chose. And if we look back, we're going to find that we actually did a lot of good there. And so this Child of Worlds is, to me right now, it's really a representation of all of us. And we are one family. We are one human family of Earth. So the next card is the Lover's card. And I when I read it before, I said, pay attention, because these people are actually, it looks like, in a kind of a dysfunctional bond there. And so a lot of bonds are breaking, and a lot of new, more open, more fluid bonds are being made, and where people are also willing to separate and open their arms to offer their love to the world. And so a lot of soulmate stuff going on right now. So I hope you guys are really enjoying that. And I hope that the light workers are always sending out their love. This is the Lover's card. Now, I'm not, like I said, I'm not a love fortune reader, but I'm gonna say that it's very difficult to make decisions, okay, about who you're going to become lovers with or who you're going to enter into a relationship with. And it's very difficult not to feel like you should be in one if you're not in one. And there's a whole bunch of stuff, but with so much changing right now and with so much new ideas about how we are lovers, with whom, and I think that trying to pinpoint things at this point, like I'm looking for my twin flame or my soulmate is in another galaxy waiting for me once I ascend, I think we need to kind of let go of that for a minute and realize that the world's having a bit of an emergency birth, and it just requires the loving uh, energy of all of us in whatever stage of, lover style relationships we may or may not be in. Now we have the anger card, and I read this. We're going to pull some new cards too, because I kind of, I've already read these cards, but I'm going to read some new ones for us. I said that we need to transmute the anger. We know how. We can't ignore that part of the ascension of Earth is for her to go deep and then release what needs to be released at this time, just as we do that ourselves. And so please stick close energetically to Mother Earth as she storms away. In the live video, the window was rattling and the lights were going on and off. It was really fun. Because I also talked about allowing ourselves to release the anger, but with the next card, with love, to when you're angry about a situation that rightfully must be changed, you always do that with love for the outcome of what your anger brings to light. So your anger at this time might bring to light transgressions against the earth, against children, against elders, against the sick, against the weak, against the feeble, against those who cannot help themselves at this time for whatever reason. And this is okay, because what you need to do is be justifiably angry at that and then envision the better way and love that into being, because you're so pissed off at what, as I said in my last video, at suddenly discovering that you've been eating poo stew. You gotta watch the second starseed video for the little poo stew bit. All right, 10 of Wands, growth. Now, I thought that we had the ecstasy card here somewhere. That's kind of weird. All right, so growth. I'm going to read this along with the next card, which is trust. Because right now, that's how we do it. Right now, growth is not about reading something more on the internet. It's not about reading the life and teachings of the masters. It's not about signing up for an online course. Yeah. It's about trusting yourself. It's about trusting the teachings you're aware of already. It's about trusting that the energies associated with those teachings will see you through whatever change is happening now or will happen, because there's more to come. This month is far from over. And this year is far from over. And of course, we are at a level where we realize that we're eternal beings. So none of this is really over for some of us who are in that realization. And the part of growth in a way of trusting is trusting that the belief in the realizations is what makes them happen. And a lot of what you're going to find at some of these new workshops and things is that they're going to tell you just that. All right. Now let's pull a reading for right now for whoever's watching this, for whatever light workers are going to tune into this YouTube video. And I'm very used to using the Rider-Waite, so I think I'm just going to dig into some Rider-Waite right now. Before I do that, though, I'm kind of going to just get into the zone a little, right? Okay. I like to tune into the new energies that are coming down from the cosmos and also coming up from the earth at this time, joining to bring us an entirely new way of thinking, a new way of feeling, a new way of sensing, a new way of physically moving about in the energy field that surrounds us. The energy field is changing. The way that we react to what people call the 3D matrix, if you will, is changing. So I would like to have messages right now specifically for that, and I feel the cards are shuffled at this point. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to put out a traditional Celtic cross, all right? But to do that, I'm going to have to pull one card that is the significator. How do you say that? So this is the card that signifies us in this reading, you and I. Namaste means I'm you, you are me. And so in this reading, we are the Knight of Wands. Okay? Now, the Knight of Wands is, first of all, look at the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is ready. The Knight of Wands horse is already moving. It's not the Knight of Swords. It's not the Knight of Cups. It's the Knight of Wands. It's the Knight of Spirit. It's the Knight of the Earth Warriors. It's the Knight who is on fire and ready to roll. That's us. Okay, we're ready. We have been doing our inner work. We have been doing our... Okay, that's the situation that we're going to speak to. This is what is crossing the situation. This is what is above the situation. And it is also kind of like the outcome, that's whether we like it or not kind of outcome thing. And this is what's underneath the situation. This is what has been affecting the situation in the recent past and, of course, the future. And now the foundation of the issue, what's in our environment, what are our hopes and fears around this, and, of course, what is the outcome. So what we have is we have the light workers and the situation we're in. Wow. Okay, I say wow a lot, so I had to say it kind of loud. So the situation we're in is the Priestess. So, what do you want me to say? I'll tell you to watch Higher Holistics channel, please. This woman is on fire herself. She refers to this card as the White Queen, a White Goddess. She, I don't know which one of those. And she has been downloading the energy of this being, which is one of the new energies to come to the planet recently, bringing us many things. So this is wild, I think, to get this card. So I'm not going to say any of the usual things that get said about tarot cards at this time. This reading really is for the age of Aquarius, for the new era, for the new energies, for the new everything. It's for the new. So this card is also being by Lady V, Veronica on Higher Holistics. It's being referred to as the energy that's coming down in pure white on the Schumann resonance. And I will tell you that I have had so many synchronicities around divine feminine energy in my own personal life coming up against the masculine in a whole new way. And just physical synchronicities like, I don't know if I should call it, like that wooden plate there has the Black Madonna and little baby brown Jesus on it, which I found at the thrift store for 50 cents just before Christmas underneath a bunch of stuff. By the way, that above her is your crown chakra. And there's some ancestors on the wall and stuff. That's my oven. Anyways, we're way off. So what I want you to do when you look at this card actually is I want you to see her as the Schumann resonance. And I want you to know that we are reaching out our energy that represents the divine feminine, mercy, love, kindness, long suffering, When I say long suffering, I mean we know to wait, not to jump in and start shooting people. All right, let's carry on with this reading. Now, what is crossing the situation is oftentimes something that is in conflict. So this next card, and as I've told you before, all the cards are face down. I don't look at them because I kind of get a thrill out of not turning it over because I don't know what it's going to be, right? Either. Um, but this card should indicate what the other side is either doing or feeling. And when I say the other side, I mean the controllers or the matrix of hypnotism and stuff coming from the TV that has tried to control us so much. Woo! So of course we have the Five of Wands. What are they doing? They're fighting with each other. Are they balanced? Not really. We all know that five is always representing a struggle point, a transition point between the balance of four and the symmetry of six. So, and also the 369 cosmic implications of six. So there they are. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. It's a good idea to sit back and take and power up, not take care of yourself. With the self-care thing, it's not time for that. It's time for you to remember that you're powerful. Start powering that energy up and sending it out and doing the good energetic work that you were destined to do. This is them fighting, and the thing is that they're taking themselves out as they should. So let's look at the undercurrent of energy that runs through this time period that we're in right now, of January 2020, where all of this new divine feminine energy is coming down, and then we have the boys are out fighting. Well, here we go. So what is happening? The undercurrent, although, is the Five of Swords. And what we see here is that in the midst of this battle, the gang is starting to drop their weapons and walk away because the heart warrior in green there, who's not holding his sword out, trying to poke them in the back as they retreat, because that would be cowardice and that wouldn't be honorable. But he is in honor, holding on to the swords that he has rightfully won. And he is standing tall next to the swords that have been surrendered. And the undercurrent of this is we're winning. And the undercurrent is that this is how the battle's going. Now, what is on top of this situation, which is kind of like what we hope for, what we fear, what's actually happening, and it'd be nice if we could do something about it, but we can't. Well, who wants to? Justice, right? Okay. So, yes, it's what we hope for. It's what they fear. It's what's happening. Nothing we can do about it. It's not like I'm like, yeah, burn them. It's just that, justice has been a long time coming. I'm not going to rant on and on about why that is. Let's just celebrate a little bit, okay, light workers and starseeds, because justice is basically, it's the undeniable, one of the undeniable outcomes of the situation that we are in. And in the recent past, now I'm going to say that this recent past card is going to speak to our ascension symptoms, to what we've been going through, to how the journey and the path have changed, to how, let's look at the card. All right, so we have the Six of Swords. And the Six of Swords is about being guarded, by someone you trust so much you can put the blanket on, huddle up with what you hold dear, and move on to the next place quietly and with peace. And so these people might be able to, even as you can see the way they are kind of humbly moving away from something, they might not even be seen doing this. And so I would say that light workers, we have been moving away, and we have been uh, allowing ourselves to trust our guides who have been watching over us all along. And we might not know where we're going in the boat, but we know that the person who's pushing it along has been doing it for a very, very, very long time. And we put our trust and our faith in that. And that has what has got us to the place where we can accept these energies that are here now and that are wonking us all out, I know. In the future, we have that reward, okay, the Ace of Pentacles. We have that that part of the story, that happy ending part of the story, where just magically out of nowhere, the gift appears, and it is golden, and it is part of us completing our cycles of service to others on this planet, and that is soon coming. Okay, you know the last scene in Star Wars, you know, and you know, like you're like, whoa, that gang cleans up pretty good, and you know, that kind of stuff. Who knows what the party was like after that? And you know, so we're gonna find out soon. Now the foundation, let's say the historical aspects of how did the world and all get into this mess to the point where all of us light workers had to incarnate, you know, and endure what we have to get to this point where, you know, it's in everybody's face. Well, this is it. It is this poverty and this homelessness and this neglect of the woman who brings a life to everyone, with whom everyone comes through to get here. It is this cold winter that we're experiencing, this storm that we're actually experiencing literally right now in Seychelles. That is the wake-up call. It is when the banks fail and the church turns out to be a cesspool of maniacs. That's when, okay? That's the history of I'm just gonna say idiocy. The history of idiocy on this planet is coming to the forefront, so that everybody can see just how dumb it's been. Okay, I'm just gonna wag my thing around so that my computer doesn't sleep. And in our environment, again, we have the King of Swords upside down. When I say again, I did it doesn't matter. In our environment, we have the patriarchy. We have men who need to be right, who need to have the last word, who are refuse to give up on might is right, and a whole bunch of other ridiculous things that we don't need anymore. That's what's in our environment. So I suggest you stay away from the old system and what represents it as much as you can. Because, you know, old grandpappy patriarchy he's old and he's upside down. And that sword's going to fall out of his hand at any moment, okay? And yeah, we might be there to offer him some nice green tea to rinse the bitter taste out of his mouth because we're nice. But otherwise, just stay away from this for now, even though it's right in your environment. And now the next card is our hopes and fears. This is our dreams. This is what we want, you know. This is how we want it. And of course, that's because we want the Ace of Wands. We want the entire new beginning. We want the new earth. We want a fresh start. We want spirit, energy, love, compassion. We want that stuff to come first. And then you guys can pile up stuff underneath. But the new spiritual something, it's getting late. Well, no, the reason I say spiritual something is because I don't want to label everything. The ascension journey is very personal. How it is that you hold on to the sword of what makes you an empowered human or light being or eternal being, returned one, star seed, way shower. This is what we are and what we want. So be the Ace of Wands. This puppy is coming up in readings all over YouTube. Check it out, or at least in mine. I'm an Aries. And the outcome, should you be brave enough. I'm not making this up, okay? I pulled all these cards just like this. Right. So just take it in, okay? It's the happy ending thing. It's like at the end of World War I, World War II, fake World War III, comes this. You know, family, community, the land, good relationship with it, abundance of all kinds. All right? I'm not going to say this means you live happily ever after with your soulmate. Come on. We can all be soulmates if we think about it. Oh, by the way, I'm just working on a website called Thought Power. And it's going to inspire you to think about a lot of things and feel them and then activate yourself. So that is the reading, okay? And wow, I think, it was the reading it was. So I am done. I'll be back when I'm back. As I said, I do these readings not exactly on a regular time, linear date basis, but when I feel the energy to do them. So namaste and namago. Thank you very much for watching.